Hi everyone, so this video I'm going to demonstrate how to do some programming for the Morningstar MC6 MKII, and I'll be using a Specular Tempus reverb delay pedal as an example of a MIDI controlled pedal that you can control with the Morningstar MC6, although a lot of these things can be generalized to any MIDI controlled pedal, so this will be more about how to program the MC6. So this is the Mark II model. I've used the Mark I for a while and I just got this Mark II, and there's quite a lot of changes and improvements to it, so as I've been exploring, there's a lot of different ways to program these buttons and a lot of new features that are pretty cool. So to get started, the first thing I want to try to program is loading different presets on the Specular Tempus. So I'll just start with preset A on the MC6. So to edit any button, first you have to use the button, then hit D and F together. That takes you to the edit menu, and select preset A, and here we can change what it does. If we go to some other menus, we can change the name of it. I'll come back to that in a minute. And then toggling, so you can go between like an on and off state, and blinking, which will blink the preset text to let you know if it's on or off. So we'll go to the message, and message 1. Use F and C to scroll between the different messages. There are 16 different messages, so you can send 16 different commands at the same time, so you can control multiple pedals from a single button or multiple features on a pedal from a single button. So first we'll start with message 1. The action will be triggered by pressing the button, but you could also have it by releasing a button, or long pressing a button, or the release of a long button. Hi cat. Or double tapping button. There's a lot of ways to do it, but we'll just do a simple press of the button. Alright, and then toggle position, there's 2 positions, basically like an on or off, and you can have this message be sent depending on which state the button's in. That's something we'll get to later. Or you could have it send both. So right now I want it to just be in position 1. The type, since I'm going to be changing patches, I'm going to use patch change, or sorry, program change. And for the Specular Tempus, there's 32 patches using numbers 0 through 31. So if I want this first patch here, the Spatium patch, that's the first patch, so number 0. If I want the second one, which on this pedal is the Shimmer, I would use number 1 to get preset 2, so they're offset by 1. So I'm going to go with 0 to get the first preset. And the Specular Tempus is set up to MIDI channel 15, and that's where you set this to. And then now that's saved. So I'm going to back out of here. Although I'll go ahead and rename it. So go back to the preset, scroll over, short name. Alright, so I'm going to go with ST1A for the name. The preset layouts on the Specular Tempus are a little strange. Since you get 2 at a time, Bank 1 has an A and a B, so that's preset 0 and preset 1. So I'm just going to go with Specular Tempus Bank 1 preset A for my name. But you can name it whatever you want. Toggle name. If you're going to be toggling between 2 different things, you can use that. Since I'm not doing anything other than just selecting a preset, I'm just going to leave it blank. So if you leave it blank, then it should stay the same. So, and then the full name is when you press the button is what pops up. But if it's blank, then nothing pops up. So I'll just leave that blank for now. Alright, exit out of there. So now, when I hit this, I should get the first preset to turn on. And there it is. So, now what if I want to turn it off? Well, unfortunately, this is only set up to turn it on for now. If I want to be able to use this button to turn that preset on and off, what I'll do, select it, edit the preset. Now before we do this, we need to enable toggling. So I'm going to select the preset, scroll over to the third page, and turn toggle on. So now when you hit this button, it goes between two different states, toggle 1, toggle 2. So back up, change the message. All right, so keep that one the same. This time we're going to use message 2, and it'll be on press, toggle position 1. This will be a control change. And for the Specular Tempus, control change number 22 controls the bypass state. And we're going to first set it to 127, which is on. This is a little redundant because the patch change command in message 1 also turns it on, but we'll just put it in here anyway. And then set that to MIDI channel 15. All right, now to set the second state, the off state, do exactly the same thing. On press, toggle position 2 this time. Control change. CC22, this time value of 0, and channel 15. So now, back out of this. When I hit this, now we toggle between on and off. So, oh, and I realized I forgot to set my name for the second state, so for the toggle state, so let's go ahead and change that. So if I wanted to, I could call it, say, like ST1A on, ST1A off, but I'll just, let's see here. 1, scroll over, toggle name this time. All right, so I'm just going to use the same name here again. So now, when I toggle between it, it just stays the same. If I want, I could enable preset A, scroll over, I could turn the blink on. So now, between the two sets, it'll blink. But I don't really need that since I have a light there telling me that it's on, so I'm going to go ahead and turn that back off. All right, so let's go ahead and make another one for preset B. So to save some time, I'm just going to edit the one we just did, and I'm going to copy that. All right, and let's put it in B. So select that first, edit, and then edit the preset, paste. So now we just need to tweak just a couple of numbers just to make everything match. So the program change is now going to be for program number 2, or sorry, patch number 2, which is number 1 on here. But everything else stays the same. So the CCs stay the same because on-off doesn't change depending which preset you're on. And that's it. I'm going to edit the name of it, of course. Short name B. Oops. And toggle name B. All right. So now we got same function for preset B. However, let's say I turn this on, and then I go over to here and turn this on. This is still in toggle 2, so if I hit it again, it loads this in bypass. Rather, it doesn't load, it just sends the bypass command. So what I want is if I'm on a preset and I change to another one, I want this to be cleared so it goes back to its default state. So we're going to add one more command to each of these. And this is a really clever feature that's new in the MC6 Mark II that the Mark I didn't have. So right now I've got this one selected. I'm going to the messages. I'm going to add an extra one. This time it'll be on press. And if I remember how I did this right, toggle position 1. And this will be set toggle. There we go. And what this will do is clear any other presets when this one's engaged. So if I'm on, this one's on, and say I go to this one, when I hit A, it'll reset B in any other ones. So since I'm only dealing with A and B right now, A I'm going to ignore because that's the one I'm currently using. What I want it to do is clear the other ones I'm not using anymore. So B, clear. And since I'm only going to use these 2 for now, I'm not going to deal with the other ones. But should you program different presets to all 6 of these, then you'd go through and hit clear for all of them. So I'll just go ahead and scroll through it. Also, another cool thing is there's actually technically more than 6 buttons here. This is another new feature on the Mark II. There's the 6 you obviously see, but then there's also 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 presets. So by double pressing them, you've got a lot more options. In the old Mark I, a lot of double combinations were reserved for editing the MC6, but everything in the Mark II, I believe, editing is D and F together, so that freed up all the other button combinations to add extra presets, which is pretty cool. All right, so we've got our toggle set, and I'm going to do that also to this one. Preset B, message, action, press, toggle position 1, type, let me scroll the other way. There we go, set toggle, type clear. This time we're going to clear A since we're using preset B. And again, if there were any other ones set up, I'd clear all those as well. All right, now when we exit out of here, if I hit preset 1, that's on. If I hit preset 2, that's on. But if I go back to 1, hey, it's on now. So that way you don't have to worry about like what state you left the last button in when you move to a different one. If you come back to it, it'll always go back to the on state. So that set toggle clear is very, very, very useful for this. So now we've got presets that we can turn on and off with a button, and we can switch between them very easily. So in addition, a little off the camera here, but I've got 2 Roland EV5 expression pedals hooked up into the expression 1 and 2. So in a lot of pedals, you'll probably want to control some of the options like blend or decay or whatever with an expression pedal. So let's go ahead and experiment with controlling the blend knob with an expression pedal. So just like the buttons, whatever the most recent expression pedal you used is the one that you'll edit. So I'm going to go ahead and move the pedal just to kind of set that. Now when I hit D and F to edit, expression 1 is there, so I'm going to hit that. And otherwise it works pretty much like the buttons do for programming. So I'm going to add a message to it, and this will be not on press, but on expression, since we're using the expression pedal. And those are the only options here. So the type will be control change. Now you can do a couple different things here. So you could have it when you set the expression pedal to the toe or the heel, it'll send something. So if you are really just going to send like an on-off message, you could do that. What I want is a continuous change, and that's what type expression's for, since I'm going to be using it essentially as a knob rather than an on-off button. All right, so the CC number for the blend knob is 14. So let's set that. And we can just set the min and max. So obviously I want the minimum to be 0, the max to be 127. And again, don't forget to set the channel to the right one. So now, hit back, Actually, I'm going to also scroll over. You can set names for this as well. So I want my name as I'm adjusting the pedal to be, let's see here. All right, so Specular Tempus blend, exit out of here. So now when I move the expression pedal, you can see the blend, the wet level is changing. Although this pedal probably could use a little calibration. There we go. I just need to push harder on it. So wet level 0, wet level 99, and it tells me what I'm editing down here with that name that I set. All right, so you could do the same thing with any of these other 4 knobs. The numbers are 14, 15, 16, 17. This would be exactly the same thing, just with a different CC number. Another feature that you might want to mess around with is tap tempo for some of the delay settings in here. So let's set this one for that. So preset C, and this will be very similar to everything we've done so far. I'm going to set it to press, toggle position 1, type control change. The CC number for tap tempo is 25. The value doesn't matter. It can be any number, so we'll just leave it as 0. And then we'll set that to 15. All right, and should probably change to, back out of here. Actually, let me name that one as well. All right. There we go. I'll change to a preset that has a tap tempo. There we go. So here's a delay. Now if I hit this, there we go. Now you've got tap tempo set up. Now, as you notice, I was changing banks by hitting A and B together. With the Specular Tempus, you can only scroll up until you reach the end, and then you loop back around again. So it'd be convenient to have a bank up and down command over here. So let's set that up. So I'm going to use preset D. Go to the message. All right, so like always, on press, toggle position 1, type CC again, and the CC number for bank plus is 20. And just like the tap tempo, it doesn't matter what value you set it to. It can be anything, so we'll just leave it on 0. 15. And let's go back and let's set the name. All right, so there, set the name. Toggle name you never have to bother with unless you've turned on toggle like we did for the on-off of the presets. If you're not using toggle, then there's no point in doing it because it'll never actually use it. So now if I hit this, it changes banks up, just like hitting A and B does over here. Obviously we'll want to have one going down, and since it's almost the same command, we'll save some time by copying this. Select it, hit copy, and then exit out. Now let's select our new one. I'm going to program E, edit, select the preset, paste. Now we're just going to go to the message, change it from CC20, CC21. That's the only thing that has to change. And then let's change the name. All right. right, so now we have bank going down, bank up, bank down. Cool. So between expression pedals controlling the values, knobs selecting presets and bypass states, tap tempo, and bank, that's pretty much everything that you probably want to program on something like the Specular Tempus or most other pedals. I'm sure if you dig really deep, there's probably some clever, unusual ways or other combinations of things you can edit if you really want to. But hopefully this video gave you some ideas for how to program the Morningstar MC6 MKII using the Specular Tempus. So enjoy.